Rodos. He took down YongHwa amongst others. Starting to the top right, we have him now, the STX player. It is a mini, and look at how cheeky that guy is. He sends out probe number 1 right to the bottom left. We are going to see a proxy play by him. And I have to say it once again, I love this jersey.
I like it as well. You can propose if you really feel that way, though.
Excuse me?
You can propose if you're in love with it. You know, you should tell the jersey, not me. Okay.
Marry the jersey?
Yeah,
that was a little bit weird.
You said you love the jersey, and if you really feel that way, you should express yourself.
I know that in the US, gay marriage is a big topic, and that it's. I don't follow the debate, but I'm not quite sure if you could actually marry a piece of clothing.
Not yet.
Yeah.
By the way, he's making it in the main base, which is really cool, because this is going to be something that YongHwa is probably not going to scout for. It's a little bit riskier to do this, because if your opponent pylon scouts, he's going to see your probe come in, probably. And YongHwa, you know, we just saw that shot of him in the booth where he just kind of shuffled around. He's going to be shuffling around like crazy when he realizes what's going on here. Oh, he checks. Unbelievable. He checks.
Awesome. He sees what's going on, and immediately the mass probe pull, he's like, no way, Sergey, you are not doing that to me.
You know, the probe pull is pretty cool, because if you are this close to the mineral line, you can actually get away with the probe pull, but how is Mini going to transition here? That's going to be the question, because this game is not over by any means.
Yeah, it's definitely not over, but it is of course awesome for YongHwa to scout this and now to be able to do something about it. If you don't scout such a proxy play, you have kind of no chance to actually do anything and save the day.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have a response, you just lose, basically. And even if you know it's there, it's hard to micro. So that's why YongHwa decided to go for this counter pressure. There's the second cancel. And the problem here for Mini becomes one of tech.
Yeah, exactly. We have the gateway now ready for YongHwa. That means it can start with his own cybernetic score. On the other hand, Mini just now started his gateway, so he will be behind in every single aspect of the game.
A Manor Pylon here in the mineral line is going to actually just... It's not even going to really affect him. He goes for the gas steal, and that's pretty cool. You know, in StarCraft 2, it's hard to actually make Manor Pylons work, because if you put them in the... Oh, gets that probe there with the system.
You want to trap units with it.
Yeah, you want to trap the units, and in StarCraft 2, it's actually really hard to get that to work. I've seen it happen a very few times.
Occasionally a player is, well, fast enough and precise enough to do it, but in this case, we have now YongHwa in a very good spot in this game. He's currently adding his cybernetics core. He is far ahead. He will, of course, also have the warp gate research done a lot faster. The harvester count is still roughly the same, and this mana gas is now being taken down.
If I know YongHwa's style, you know, some process at this point, as YongHwa would actually just make a robo and then go for a 4 gateway warp with an attack, because there's basically no way Mini can hold something like that. But YongHwa's actually probably going to add a robo and then go for like the late game, because he never really takes big risks to be aggressive early.
We have him with the second gas right now, and Mini, of course, now adding his own cybernetic score. He wants to catch up. He wants to be in a position where he makes up for the early mistake. And YongHwa is starting with a very, very late warp gate research. Yeah. He's actually now... Mini is actually now at exactly the same tech level because of it.
Yeah, this is really weird that he didn't start that right away.
That's... He
had the resources. That was a bit of a big mistake there.
I'm actually a little bit flabbergasted. I'm like, what?
He had that warp gate research available to research for a really long time. Look at all the chrono energy he has as well. You guys can't see it, but I think it's about 70 right now, 66, and so he can use a lot of chrono. Mini goes for Stargate.
Mini had some little Stargate tech, whereas YongHwa, on the other hand, chose the Templar Archive. He wishes. The Twilight Council. Templar Archive would have been a little bit faster, but the Twilight Council is a pretty awesome choice for him. I mean, these openings couldn't be better for YongHwa, because now he can go for an early blink, so he has still to be a little bit careful that those Phoenixes are not just running into his mineral line where the Stalk is out of position and take his economy apart. But if you are up against a Phoenix composition, you really want to have this mobility.
Yeah, that's the most important part, because if you don't, then the Phoenix are just going to run circles around you, or fly circles around you, in this case. Will he hide or will he shell? That's what we're going to find out with this rally. And with the rally on the Nexus, it's definitely going to be hiding. Some people like to show the first Phoenix because it can force your opponent to have a response and change his tech, and you can go back into a more normal, more standard play. Or if you scout with the first Phoenix, you get a lot of scouting information yourself. If you hide them, though, it's so scary.
The thing is that with the first observer, he will have the high ground vision, YongHwa that is, at the top right. So if Mini doesn't even get into a position where he can pressure YongHwa, Mini might just die. This is going to be a big problem for him. It all depends on the timings here. The Phoenixes now are still hidden. He didn't fly out with them just yet. And YongHwa and Mini, this is just such a close and thin line that they are walking. The forward pylon is ready for YongHwa. And Blink is halfway done and being chrono boosted.
Yeah. This is, build order-wise, I think YongHwa, if he doesn't mess up his micro, definitely has a strong advantage here.
Yeah.
But with the Phoenixes being able to remove these units from play, I don't know, man. Actually, the more I'm looking at these units and physically staring at them, I'm not so sure that with his Blink Stalkers he'll be able to fight this army straight up. It's all about the mobility here, and the Phoenixes are going to be able to fly over cliffs just like Stalkers and trap and pick units up.
Where's the Observer, though? If he jumps into the main base now, he can take down the economy, but YongHwa realizes that Mini is moving out and decides to move back. He takes down the Sentry. Really nice pick out there.
Yeah, and he's going to get some of these Zealots as well. The Phoenixes need to get back here right now, but since so much damage has already been done to Mini's army, the Phoenixes are not as useful as they would have normally been here.
No, they definitely are not. It's still a tight spot for... Yeah, Mini is losing way too much. I mean, he's moving back, but this is pretty brutal now.
Yeah, the Phoenixes are definitely going to have to make a choice here. Do we kill probes or do we go back to defense? I think the defense is definitely the better choice right now. He's going to be able to harass a little bit with these Stalkers, and he has the forward pylon stuff, so he can use Zealots to harass later. But defending is his top priority right now. He's sending the Phoenixes back, several of them with almost full energy.
There are units at the bottom left, but in the main base of Mini now we have the Stalkers for YongHwa, and the Phoenixes come in to use the Graviton Beam. Nice pickoffs here by YongHwa, doing a great job. Has to use, of course, his Blink Micro to save his Stalkers. Mini is doing really well considering. And at the bottom left, YongHwa was able to defend, but this of course also forced him to warp in a few units in his main base that he cannot use at his main army right now.
It's so hard to judge, you know, how to engage against Phoenix if you can, and whether you should target the Phoenix to try to target units on the ground. Are you going to rescue your Stalkers that are lifted, or are you going to try something else?
But YongHwa is ahead in Harvesters, he's ahead in economy, and he has a very good hold of his opponent's main base. Takes down the forward pylon and also in a position where he can snipe the gateway.
Yeah, the gateway definitely will go down. It's already been unpowered, so it's not too significant at this specific moment in time. But Mini gets that pylon up.
Yeah, exactly. This pylon could be devastating for YongHwa.
And look at the situation that YongHwa's in right now. He's scared to blink in. He's not sure if he has enough. He knows that several of his Stalkers will be removed from play by this Phoenix. It's 5 in total, could be just picked up. And with a Stalker count of just 14, you go down to 9 Stalkers. Your opponent's Zealots on the ground with his Stalkers really help out there. Is he going to blink forward here?
We have Zealots at the bottom left now facing YongHwa. Zealots in the mineral line to the top right. The main battle has just started with Graviton being used by Mini, and YongHwa trying to use Blink Micro to his advantage.
Yeah, really nice position on the Stalkers with having them on the low ground. The Zealots were not able to fight there, and the more and more Phoenix energy has been used, he's basically trading his Stalkers money for Phoenix energy for just a little bit longer, and with the next warp in of units, he may actually just be able to seal the deal. The problem for YongHwa, though, is he just used a warp in. He's got barely enough to hold here with his Zealots at home.
Yeah, but he does a good job, and now suddenly Mini moves down the ramp and is trying to break this contain. YongHwa, with another few units being warped in, has to fight the Phoenix and Stalker composition once more, blinking away like a god. And now Mini, is he able to force this back? It certainly does not look like it.
No, it doesn't look like it at all. The Phoenixes can lift, but they can't fight a war for Mini. He started this game off behind with the 2-gate proxy. Considering that, he did pretty well here, but this is the dead end. Stalkers being picked up. He may get just one here, but there's too much damage.
GG. YongHwa with a nice performance here in game number 1 on Cloud Kingdom takes the lead in the best of 3. And look at him, pretty chilled out. He's like, yep.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the Phoenix usage, though, and the decision-making we saw from Mini there, despite having that early deficit from the 2-gate proxy.
Yeah, he played well, and YongHwa has to be careful. In game number 2, we could certainly see Mini take the map and force game number 3. Next map actually is going to be, let me double check, it is going to be Ohana. No, actually not. It's going to be Antigua Shipyard.
Yep. Antigua map number 2, another great map for Blink Stalkers. We'll see if YongHwa is going to go for another Blink Observer build. That may have been something he chose based on getting that early lead. We'll never know what his original plan was. When you scout a 2-gate proxy, everything kind of gets messed up. You find yourself oftentimes even in disaster, but the probe pull is always an interesting response, and when the gateways are that close, it's scarier because the reinforcing zealots are going to be closer to your main base, but at the same time, if you see it, you can pull your probes and actually kill those gates.
Yeah, probes or forge, you have to do either one. You have to try to defend against what you see, and if your opponent already has those 2 gates on the way, it's hard to catch up in time. You will always have a little bit of a lead in the gateway units.
Plus, if you see them that early, they have less hit points. They're not as fully formed, and you like if you saw them maybe 20 or